Hi everyone, my name is Katya, who are you? And I'm here to tell you about the kind of happiness you don't know that you have or you have access to. And let's talk about how to be happy in turbulent times. Is that possible, you think? You know that I'm a vlogger and it's been 6-7 years that I post things online, and many times I share personal stories, my opinions. Initially it was a blog to share Russian culture, different cultural perspectives, and to be like this kind of to build an international community. It used to be community of foreigners living in Russia or internationals coming here to study, to work, and it was really nice to have this international environment back home here, living here and being this let's say guide for them. I used to have a website in English. I had partners and we were renting out flats in the city center of St. Petersburg for those who are coming here or used to come here for a semester, 4 or 5 months. And I did Trans-Siberian trip twice. Actually, it was my dream to kind of do it myself, and it was even more of a dream when others were my clients, and so you could cover my expenses as well, so I could afford a trip for me. And I went twice before the Football World Cup. Right before, it was a nice experience, and so I'm mentioning that as a context of well, people used to know me as Katya from Russia, Katya who speaks languages. Back then I spoke English, Spanish, I was learning French. I wasn't fluent, but I could speak it. I was doing different language exchanges and blah blah blah. And then I was learning Chinese. I wasn't fluent, I was there on the bottom yet, but I was kind of learning Chinese. And so this international Katya who is showing them Russia basically from a viewpoint that they couldn't probably discover it themselves. Doing a Trans-Siberian trip with zero Russian is kind of a challenge, and well, the second time we went, I had a big group of like people from 15 countries, and I was like a mom for them, you know, with my little dogs. I don't know how to say, like with my kids, let's say. I was bringing them everywhere. It was a kind of really nice responsibility, and it's always being the representative for them as well, all of them in front of those people on the train, and it's nice. But sharing personal things, and this blogger experience taught me a lot of lessons related to comments, to hate online. And initially, the first hate ever I received on YouTube was from Russian audience. And now I understand why it happens. Also, it happens to every single blogger on the internet. I don't think there is a perfect blog with zero, at least some kind of little negative comments. But back then, in the year 2019, I wasn't ready for that. And maybe I was lacking strategy with my channel, because my first channel was, I was uploading songs, international songs, for example, Perfect, Baby, like You're Perfect Tonight, Ed Sheeran, and I was posting it in Russian. I was singing it in Russian, and it was quite popular from the beginning. So it was like kind of Russian language, Russian culture, blah blah blah. And then no, it was the second one. The second channel was in Russian, and I was like interviewing internationals here, so that Russian people could watch those interviews and see the opinions of foreigners living in Russia. Sorry, foreigners, internationals. So it's always nice content. Everyone loves hearing opinions of internationals living in your country, because they give you a totally different perspectives, things that you wouldn't notice, and normally gives you like kind of this show off a bit of the things that you wouldn't appreciate. And now if someone else from United States, let's say from France, from somewhere, is telling you that, wow guys, you're cool, your food is nice, or like your architecture is great, it's always good. So people watch this kind of things, and right, and so I uploaded, there were several of them. There were several of interviews, and once we were trying cheese with this girl from Switzerland. So it was actually, like, she did a video with cheese, like we were trying to find out whether this cheese is Russian or Swiss. It was nice. It was her video for her channel, and for mine we were tasting out some lemonades, and the point was that I didn't prepare well for the interview. I just brought, you know, those drinks, and we were trying to guess the taste. And it's not that I should have known the names of the taste of the grass they put into this kind of drink, but obviously, apparently, finally, people who were watching this, like born in back in the Soviet Union, who used to love that drink, they would know the name of the grass they would put there. And so I received so much hate because I just didn't mention the name of the grass in this lemonade, which was extra den something it was called. So green grass. And then the other one that was like used as an alternative for cola, Coca-Cola back then in the Soviet Union. And there were a lot of like personal comments. They would say, you speak such shitty Russian. They would criticize my Russian, even though in my region I come from Kostroma, and in my hometown we would use this word. Afterwards I would know that you know, you couldn't even get to the point to realize that in your region you use this word unless someone tells you that, you know, it's not correct to use this form. But tell that to thousands of people in my region who do use those forms, and then it's a discussion about the language, and now I think that it's perfectly fine to use that form. But back then I was like, oh my god. So for some more years I was telling отъезд and basically уезд, because уезд, they told me, it doesn't exist. And so these kind of things brought me to a point when I was like, why am I doing that? Why am I doing all this work, uploading so many nice interviews, or at least I think I like it, and they would just say those things about me. So what is the point to serve people who, like, from the beginning don't appreciate it and just come to hate? Pretty soon I opened another YouTube channel, which currently has 50,000 followers. Not as much, but still much more than the other one. Hola, soy Katia Turros, my channel in Spanish. And there, the public was totally different. Maybe because of the context. Russian girl, talking in Spanish, blah, 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 saying nice things about them. So why would you write negative things? And for a couple of years, I was there enjoying this nice company of Latin American followers who would just say nice things to you. But life is not like that. There comes a moment that you basically choose not to be liked by everyone and decide to basically just say things that matter to you, and that if currently you're like living through a crisis, then you would share it and you would say things the way, or maybe you make some personal decisions and decide to show your partner. It is like your personal thing that you decide to share for some reason, and then they would come and criticize you on that, criticize you on other things, criticize you on the topics that you give you a lot of advice on, not to be too skinny, not to choose this guy, or basically not to talk about Mexico but to talk about Chile. You are obsessed with Chile, you are this, you are that. And so constantly you're getting a lot of comments from people who basically have nothing to do with you. Long story short, one day I understood that it should have a point, and with my volumes on YouTube, it wasn't a decent salary. And so I started launching Russian language courses, which made it all meaningful, because once you do content for people who come there to listen to you about a specific issue, to learn from you, then you wouldn't care so much if they criticize your hair or anything, right? Because they are not within your playing ground, within your field. It's not, it shouldn't be within your attention span. And it turns out that yes, but at the same time, being connected with your friends, with someone who knows you, someone like people from your hometown, your exes, your friends from university, all those things that make your profile so especially not on YouTube but on some other platforms like Instagram, some more like Facebook, more personal things, they stop you from growing so much. And one day I just understood that on other channels, when I don't have this, I can do anything, I don't have friends there, it would grow so much just because of that. And a couple of months ago I realized, coming back to happiness, I realized, oh my God, a couple of decades ago, so many people lived on the planet and you wouldn't care, you wouldn't know, you wouldn't see. But right now, somehow they appear in my recommendation on social media. And they provoke feelings within me that would have never appeared if it wasn't for the social media. And what do I care? Why do I care about people who are not my friends, who are nobody to me? Why do I spend my energy daily being jealous, being worried about what they think of me? In general, taking them into account, bringing a little bit of my attention to them. Why? What did they do to rob this from me? And there you come to the point that with personal relationships, and you're very good with that in the United States, with personal borders, limits, you know that actually what you can influence is within this meter around you. So it's right here, your field of influence. I can do this pretty much. I can do a step forward towards you, and I cannot force you to do one towards me. So even in a couple relationship, friendship, parents, whatever, we have to one day become adults and realize that everything depends on me. So I can only do what depends on me, and it's my job to make sure that I am here, I've done my best. And then let's see what happens and what comes back from the world. And now you have your phone within this nice meter. And this means that you can actually have your profile and share things this way as well, and spread things and influence other people. Which doesn't mean you have to let them in your life. And today I've got to know that there are two types of happiness. I've learned with meditation, with years of suffering with this personal development and just doing business, doing things online, coming through those situations of hate, overcoming those difficulties, becoming a better version of myself. And so I am able to enjoy life the way it is. And today I heard that there is natural happiness, which comes logically when you get something. So let's say you get a nice ring. I don't know why I said that. Let's say ring. You get a nice ring as a girl, and you're happy because you get it. And if you don't get it, you are unhappy. This is like a common story, pattern, right, of how things work, and this is natural. It's kind of easy to follow this pattern. And then there is this synthetic happiness, which means that you can be happy, just as happy as if you had something when you don't have it. And the guy from the TED Talk mentioned different examples of when people didn't get what they kind of wanted, and they were like, I'm fine, you know, I'm way happier like this. So maybe life gives you something better when you don't follow the path of this social success ladder, success that other people want you to get. And it has so much to do with your personal value and the ability to just be grateful for nothing, for breathing, for just like, I'm okay, right? And I was born alone, and I will go away alone, let's say, so that I didn't come here with this partner so that I kind of get crazy because of a breakup, right? We passed through those things, but finally it's the same, whether it's hate on YouTube, whether it's just something you get or don't get, something you just are able to do or not. And I think that's beautiful. I think that's beautiful to just let ourselves be happy and give ourselves this option. Because every moment we have an option. If something goes wrong, if many things go wrong, we still have an option to be fine. Even if there's someone else who's not fine at the moment, it's his or her responsibility. And when you are fine, you will be more probable to help others and help way many more people than when you are not fine with yourself and you are not happy and you don't have energy for anything. Thanks for listening. Maybe it's a bit pointless, it lacks strategy, recording those videos in English. I don't know why I'm doing this. I'm practicing English, it's good. So let's just get connected. I'm Katya. I have Instagram, Katya for you. Now also thinking about what I can do with it, because it was like in strategy. But yeah, I kind of have things to share and would be happy to stay in contact with new people coming here to this channel. Thank you. Bye bye and stay happy.